I recently read The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. Abraham Lincoln was a terrible leader in his 20s. In 1832, he gathered a group of men to fight in the Black Hawk War and took the rank of captain despite not knowing a damn thing about military tactics or strategy. One day, Lincoln was guiding his men into battle and needed to go through a narrow opening, but couldn't remember the command to create an N-wise formation. So in a panic, told everyone to disband and meet him on the other side. As the weeks went by, his influence as a leader gradually faded. By the end of the war, Lincoln was demoted to private. Fortunately, Lincoln learned a thing or two about leading and influencing people in the years that followed. Just as a captaincy granted Lincoln temporary influence, a team lead role or manager position will give you temporary influence over the people you're leading. But if you don't obey the laws of leadership, you will squander that influence. When you instruct, your team will delay and second guess your decision. And when you try to go in a new direction, no one will follow. But when you learn and honor the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, you will become more and more influential as a leader, and hopefully have a similar impact as Lincoln did later in his life. What follows in this summary are 3 irrefutable laws of leadership, and weaved into each of those laws are elements of the 18 other irrefutable laws of leadership. Law number 1, the law of addition. When a leader feels like their people should serve them, they feel superior, which breeds impatience and contempt, and diminishes a team's desire to support their leader. To be a great leader, take an org chart and flip it upside down, so the people on your team sit above you. From this perspective, think, what can I do to serve and add value to their lives? If you need a guide, remember the PROMISE acronym. P, provide honest and actionable feedback that helps your team members improve their skills and performance. R, remove obstacles and preempt problems that could slow your team down. O, own the problems in your team so your team doesn't have to carry the burden. M, make time to meet with everyone and actively listen to their ideas, concerns, and issues. I, influence upper management to give your team the resources they need. S, spotlight the efforts and contributions of each team member. And E, encourage your team to make decisions and take on more responsibility. These small but impactful acts of service may be uncomfortable at times, but they demonstrate a genuine commitment to your team's welfare, which fosters trust. Your daily promise to your team assures them that they are valued and not merely a disposable asset, which fulfills 2 other leadership laws, the law of process and the law of solid ground. Maxwell says, all leaders have a certain amount of coins or amount of change in their pocket when they start a new leadership position. Whatever they do either builds up the number of coins or depletes it. Small acts of service that add value to your team steadily adds leadership coins to your pocket that you can cash in later to get your people to take risks with you. Which brings us to the next law, the law of Buyin. If you were looking for money to start a technology business in Silicon Valley, you would struggle if it was your first company, no matter how compelling your vision was or how solid your business plan was. But if you had one successful startup under your belt, you would find investors. The same principle applies to leadership. People don't buy into your call to action unless they buy into you first. Or as Maxwell says, people don't at first follow worthy causes. They follow worthy leaders who promote causes they can believe in. So how can people know if you are someone worth buying into? The story of Major Winters can provide an answer. Major Winters was a celebrated American World War II leader of Easy Company, portrayed in the HBO series Band of Brothers. Winters had a simple leadership philosophy: officers go first. Whenever his troops needed to assault an enemy position, Winters would lead it and take the risk first. In one battle, Easy Company was pinned down by German machine gun fire and confined to ditches on either side of a road. If they didn't move soon, they would be ripped to shreds. So Winters ran from one ditch to another as machine gun bullets flew by. He pulled on the soldiers' uniforms, urging them to get up. Then he stood in the middle of the road, waving them forward as bullets hit the ground next to him until all of his men advanced. Major Winters lived according to the law of the picture because he stood as an example for what needed to be done, and in the process displayed character, competence, and commitment, all qualities that followers need to see before they can buy into you being their leader. Living by the law of the picture and getting buy-in from people means taking Gandhi's famous words to heart: be the change you want to see in the world. In the next 20 minutes, name 3 to 5 things you wish your team members did better than they do now. Then grade your performance for each, or ask someone else to grade you on them. If you score low on any one, change yourself in that area before urging others to change. If you score high in an area, then you need to be more intentional about displaying that change. The most valuable thing you can do as a leader is to be a good example. And the last law, the law of priorities. Naval Ravikant, CEO of AngelList, says, when my physical health became my number one priority, I could never say I don't have time for it. In the morning, I work out, and however long it takes is how long it takes. I don't care if the world is imploding or melting down. It can wait another 30 minutes until I'm done working out. If something is truly your priority, you do it. That's just the way life works. But if you've got a fuzzy basket of 10 or 15 different priorities, you're going to end up getting none of them done. The same holds true for leadership. Your team needs to truly understand what their priority is, what they should make time for no matter what. Give your team that type of clarity, and they will reward you with incredible execution. To identify your team's priorities, use the 3 R's by asking the following 3 questions. What is required of us? That is, who is depending on us? What gives the greatest return? That is, how can we better utilize our strengths and multiply our output? And what will bring the greatest reward? That is, what will provide the most satisfaction and sustain our drive to continue working hard? Find the work that fits these 3 R's and ensure your team has time for it. Then as a leader, stay true to your priorities by obeying the law of sacrifice. Maybe there are tasks you enjoy doing or don't trust others to do correctly. Or maybe you want more solitude time, but you keep having to deal with your team's problems. If you're going to have the impact you want to have as a leader, you need to give up more personal comforts. Create 2 lists. List number 1. What daily or weekly tasks am I willing to give up? This includes busy work that you could easily delegate or eliminate, or tasks that you're great at, but could easily train someone to do 80% as well. List number 2. What things will I not sacrifice? This may include your morning workout or time with your family on the weekend. Having clear boundaries ensures you stay mentally sharp and committed as a leader. In the end, how well you lead determines how well you succeed. Leadership is the lid to your potential. Your leadership comes down to one metric: influence. You gain more influence by obeying the law of addition and finding ways to serve and add value to the people you're leading. Then by leading by example to get voluntary buy-in. Once you get buy-in, obey the law of priorities and make it clear what absolutely must get done. Achieving your priorities will require sacrifice, but it's well worth it because over time, your team will give back much more than you put in. That was the core message that I gathered from the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. You can tell that Maxwell has been studying and leading leaders for over 30 years. This book is packed with leadership wisdom. I highly recommend it. If you would like a 1-page PDF summary of insights that I gathered from this book, just click the link below and I'll be happy to email it to you. If you already subscribed to the free Productivity Game email newsletter, this PDF is sitting in your inbox. If you like this video, hit the like button and check out the next video in the top left corner. As always, thanks for watching and have yourself a productive week.